on this computer. And today we're going to look into the 4 last positions, and this is the Chief Marshal, then the competition speaker and timekeeper, which is 1 person at our championships. It's not 2 positions, it's 1 position for us. And then we have the Masters Adaptive Weightlifting and the categories explained. And finally, the jury president and the jury members. Before we start, I'm going to put in our chat here a link that whoever did not participate so far yesterday or today, please register in the link that I am sending now in this chat. Leave your email address so that we can contact you when we are ready to create this WhatsApp group for Athens, the technical official WhatsApp group for Athens. And also everyone that participated here will receive all the material that I'm using here, all the PowerPoint presentations of every position. You will receive this by email to have a look, and also the technical rules of Masters and also of the IWF. Right, and the other people are still coming in. We'll let them in. Here you go, we'll let them in. And then we're going to start now with the Chief Marshal's position. Again, I will, for those who just came in, have a look in the chat. If there's anything, leave your email address and we have your contact. I'm going to share my screen now. And we go to the first position. Let me see. I think I have the right one. The Chief Marshal, there it is. Okay, can everyone see the PowerPoint presentation, the responsibility of the Chief Marshal? Can somebody verify?
Yes, that's okay.
Okay, super. Right. The requirements of a Chief Marshal is to run a smooth competition session from the warm-up area. What a Chief Marshal needs to know is the basic English language, the knowledge of the Masters technical rules, as well as the IWF technical rules that we apply. Needs to know the skills, be assertive, be attentive at all times, full concentration, cooperative and calm behavior. And of course, it's ideal to have an additional assistant marshal by the side to run our big sessions. To help coaches and athletes to find their correct athlete's card, please highlight the nation. The start numbers are in red already. They are highlighted. So point out that coaches or their athletes need to know their own start number. Once they know their start number, they don't need to look on the names and so on, which is confusing anyway. Especially the bigger the session is, the more difficult it is for coaches to find their athlete's card. By using the start numbers, they will find it immediately. And you spread the cards on the Marshal table based on the start number from 1 to the last athlete, and you keep them on the same place until the competition ends. And then indicate these 2 highlights to each coach and athlete to avoid declaring weight on the wrong athlete's card. The process is clear when black and red pens are used. So coaches are using the black pen and marshals the red pen. And it is advisable not to mix up everything. Use just 1 pen for the coaches. So they have to wait in queue unless they come with their own pen. Because if you have more pens on the marshal's table, everybody will grab 1 pen and then you might lose the control of which coach came to you to write anything on an athlete's card. Okay, so one black pen for the coaches is enough. The Masters 80% rule. At the IMWA World Championships, the total weight of the starting attempts declared in a weigh-in and actually taken in the snatch and the clean and jerk must equal or be more than 80% of the weight of the verified entry total. So before the competition starts, please recalculate the snatch and clean and jerk total the athlete declared at the weigh-in, and to be no less than the indicated start total on an athlete's card as per the example that we have here. So it has to be in line, the 80% rule to the entry total. Please beware, the clean and jerk first declared attempt cannot be readjusted to go down if the start total goes below the 80% of the athlete's best total registered. So even if more weights were successfully lifted in a snatch session, the second attempt, the third attempt, this doesn't count to change the clean and jerk first declared attempt when the 80% are not met. So the basic duties are, when dealing with the athlete's card, to accept or refuse the modification made by the coaches on the attempt to be taken based on the rules. When dealing with the marshal's computer, to communicate any changes made on the athlete's card. Then to communicate the new information as fast as possible to the competition management system about the requested attempts. And in case of general electricity failure or an error when the competition cannot be stopped electronically, we need a technical controller to come and help as a manual communicator between the competition IT manager, the speaker, and the marshal's table. So make yourself familiar of the competition system. In Athens, we're going to use the Canadian system. It is a free internet system built by a Canadian who's very passionate about weightlifting. And nowadays, many clubs and federations are actually using this system. It's a very simplified and very easy to use, simple competition management system. The calling order, we showed that yesterday, and this is the base of the competition. Always remember, number one, we look at the weight of the barbell. It must be the lightest weight first. Then the number of the attempts, always the lowest number first. Then the sequence order of the previous attempts. That means the athlete who lifted earliest is first to go. And finally, also the start number of the athlete, the lowest first is the one to go. And we have this when there are too many athletes starting with the same weight. The weight is never added for one athlete and then taken off for the next athlete. The barbell is rising. Here we have the athlete's card. The chief marshal supervises the declarations and changes of the requested weight made by the athletes or coaches for each attempt. The declarations and changes are immediately communicated through the laptop on the marshal's table to the competition management system. And then the competition management system shares this directly on the laptop in front of the speaker, who will then be able to announce the appropriate new changes. Here we have an attempt board that shows the calling order of each athlete's attempt based on the weight declared. And you can see here, these are all the first attempts, and we always start with the lowest weight. Keep an eye on the sequence and the clock at your table, and the marshal can strike out any unused space on the athlete's card. This is to help preventing coaches to grab any athlete's card and to write anywhere in empty space, anything at all. What marshal must do when the 30-second slot runs out to enter new declaration, please check the clock on your table. Always have a look, what is the clock on your table, and not on any scoreboard. The scoreboard and your clock might have a difference of a few seconds. Okay. Click on the name to bring up the athlete's card. That is the chief marshal on the laptop when changes are made. Okay, you click on the name, then an athlete card comes on the screen. Then you will be asked from the system if you allow this change. So that is based on the time. That means the 30 seconds are not automatically regulated by the competition system. This is something that you have control of. And this is why the competition system is asking you as chief marshal if it is still within the 30 seconds that the coach can come and make the changes or not. And based on that, you declare a yes or a no. By a 1 minute attempt, the coach must declare the next weight in on his or her athlete's card within the first 30 seconds of that minute, even if it is the automatic increment. Otherwise, the athlete has to accept the weight shown by competition management system. Here we have a timing apparatus will sound one time, and that is at the last 30 seconds. After that, no more changes can be accepted. Here, be aware, the automatic increment applies in the following: 1 kilo up after the good lift in the previous attempt, however, the same weight after the no lift in the previous attempt. By a successive attempt, 2 minutes are given. The coach must come and declare the next weight to the marshals, and that must be done within the first 30 seconds of the 2 minutes, even if it is the automatic increment. Otherwise, the athlete has to accept the weight shown by a competition management system. Here we have the timers apparatus, and it sounds 2 times, by the first 30 seconds, and then again in the last 30 seconds. Now, if a coach declares they can change the weight 2 times until the last 30 seconds. Here we have an example. Lydia Valentin, she succeeded with 100 kilo in the first attempt. The automatic kilo increase is 101 kilo for her second attempt. The coach came to declare the 101 kilo or more for the second attempt before the first 30 seconds of the 2 minutes. Then the coach came to change to 105 kilo for the second attempt, and that is the first change. And then the coach came again to change to 107 kilo for the second attempt. That was the second and last change, and that has been done before the last 30 seconds. No more changes can be done after the sound of the last 30 seconds. For an example here, the athlete succeeded 100 kilo at the first attempt, and they want to take only 101 kilo for the second attempt. So in this case here, it is not necessary for the coach or the athlete to declare 101 kilo on the athlete's card if they are certain that they will take this attempt. Otherwise, they will lose the right for any changes if the first 30 seconds have passed and then they come and want to make any changes. Okay, it's everything done in the first 30 seconds. When an athlete wants to retire or withdraw from the competition before the end of the athlete session, every competition system has somewhere a button to click. So you can find it once you click on the athlete's name, the card comes up, and on the card you can see that it shows withdrawing, and then you click on withdrawing. But that doesn't mean when you click on the withdrawing in the snatch, it does not go automatically for the clean and jerk either. So depending on what the coach is declaring of a withdrawal, if it is only for the snatch, then that will be only for the snatch, and they can continue in the clean and jerk. Yeah. Be alert here. Check and compare the declaration on the athlete's cards with the scoreboard to ensure that the information are really matching. What is on the athlete's card? What is on your computer in front of you? What have you put in as information? It must match with the athlete's card, and also seen if that matches with the scoreboard as well. So from time to time, have a look at it. Here we have 4 athletes who are starting with the same weight, 150 kilos. Start number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. They all made a good lift. The automatic 1 kilo increment is 151 for all of them. But here you have start number 1 and start number 3 declaring 155 each one. But number 2 has declared 160, and so does number 4. So of course, number 3, the lifter number 3 will be, first number 1 will be going with 155, and then number 3 will be going with 155. But then, when the name has called up and the clock started, and number 2 comes and wants to go down 155 kilos, then that must be denied from the chief marshal. The clock started, and it will be lifter number 3. So lifter number 2 can declare 156 kilo, but not 155 anymore. So bear that in mind and always look at the time. When a lot of people, when a lot of coaches and athletes come and make new declarations, new attempts, requests, you don't need to follow those who have come first, but you need to follow which athlete would actually go out now. And that athlete need to be served first. So here we have, important, even though the request of change follows the calling order, based on the technical rules of the IWF, has been applied, and there is a deadline of decreasing. There is a deadline. And in order to decrease the weight, the clock must not have started for any athlete. So pay attention to timing clock. Here is a summary of when you are still allowed to do decreasing or not. The next athlete has not been called yet. Changes can still happen at the marshal's table. The athlete has been called, but clock has not been started yet. Changes can still happen at the marshal's table. The athlete has been called, the clock has been started, but the athlete is not on the stage. Still no more changes here. Then the athlete has been called. The athlete is on the stage, but the clock has not been started yet because loaders are still on the platform. This means that the TC did not do the proper job, and an athlete passed by to go on the competition platform without being called up, and without being the clock started. So here the TC has to do the job, and the changes can still happen at the marshal's table, because the clock did not start yet. Then an athlete has been called, the clock started, and the athlete is on the stage or on the competition platform. Of course, no more changes can be done. When many coaches come to the table at the same time, as I mentioned already, please don't panic, don't run away, take a breath, and then serve the athlete that needs to go on the platform first. It's not who will be there first, who grabs the pen first. It has to be based on the calling order. The athlete's card's scoreboard screen in case a mistake has been entered, and that happens to the best chief marshals. The transfer of information may not be recorded correctly. Compare the weights on the cards and scoreboard screen from time to time. If any corrections are required, contact the competition management system operator immediately. That means you make a technical stop from the chief marshal's table. And then the issue will be addressed, and when it will be addressed, then we can continue. Please remember, chief marshal must look at the timing clock when coaches of called athletes come to declare an increase or decrease weight. Normal 1 minute attempt, everything must be done within the first 30 seconds. And when we have a 2 minute attempt, then declaration for the next attempt will also within the first 30 seconds. But changes can be done before the end of the last 30 seconds. Tips to stay calm when it is very busy and crowded, which can happen at our big sessions. Prepare your own red and black pens. Concentrate always on the current weight of the barbell and also the announcement and timing clock. Compare the weights on the cards with the scoreboard and also the monitor from time to time. Put a black one black pen on the next athlete's card to be ready for quick changes. Be prepared for possible degreasing as much as possible. Please also remember, when the lifter has been called up and you pick up the card, you hold the card in your hands, changes can still happen the first 30 seconds. So don't be surprised if a coach comes and is looking for the card and you are the one holding it. Okay, so you have to be a bit flexible here. Don't grab it completely, but then once the first 30 seconds are off, you can strike down underneath with the red pen. No more changes possible. And also, don't forget to put the athlete's card back in the same order. And here we have come to the end of the Chief Marshal's position. Do you have any questions? Or you would like to share anything? Please feel free. It's very quiet. So I assume you all understood. And of course, it's for many of us, nothing new. We do have some experience in it. Huh? Yeah. Okay, then I share the second one, and that is the competition speaker with the timekeeping. So here I share the screen. So please, somebody to confirm that you can all see the PowerPoint presentation. Can somebody confirm?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, all good. Right. The competition speaker is, of course, a very crucial role, because the competition speaker sets the tone of the competition by conveying the progress of the competition to the athletes, the team officials, technical officials, and the audience, and also on live streaming. So converse fluently in English, and if a speaker wants, in the local language. It's no must, but English is, of course, a must in our championships. Must have experience in weightlifting competitions and need also to know the technical rules. Be clear and concise in delivery. A good microphone voice and the ability to engage the audience. But that does not mean you have to be an entertainer. It is enough to be a technical speaker. I am, for instance, a technical speaker. I'm not a good entertainer. So if you are a combination of it, very good, but it is not a must. To be a technical speaker, is that what is required? The competition speaker must ensure that the coach and the athlete understands when the athlete's name has been called up. He or she must become familiar with the correct pronunciation of the athlete's name and the nation. So you go in a warm-up area, you go from one athlete to another, and you ask the name. And if there's anything that you need to pronounce that maybe is difficult for you, you make some notes that you need to read to understand how to pronounce the name correctly. And that you do that, of course, before the start of the presentations. Important before the start is to ensure that the water is on your table, because speakers are very close to the competition platforms and you are inhaling a lot of chalk. So the mouth gets dry. Please make sure that you have enough water to drink on your table. Then you get ready for the first presentation, and that is why the athletes are taken around in front or in the back at a competition platform by the TC. Then you announce the welcome to everyone, and you give the championship title, the years, the date, location, because it's a live streaming, the session number, age groups, and bodyweight categories, if we have a combination, each athlete's full name and nation, and of course, the age groups and bodyweight categories. It's based on the protocol sheet that is in front of you. and you announce the 10 minutes until the actual start of the competition once all the athletes have gone down from the competition platform area. Presentation 2 is the one for all the technical officials for this session, and they've been taken around as well in front or in the back of the competition platform by the TC. Here you say the full name and also the nation. IWF does not do this anymore. For them, they say you represent IWF, but in our championships, we can say your full name and your nation. It's very nice to know for everyone that you are serving your nation for Masters Weightlifting well. Then you call up the center referee, side referee 1 and side referee 2, and chief marshal and the assistant marshal, technical controller, then the timekeeper in our championships, as I said, is the speaker himself. So you can announce your name as well, and then the doctor on duty. The duty also of the speaker is to make the appropriate announcements for the efficient running of the competition for each attempt, including but not limited by the following order. You instruct the loaders to load the required weights. You give the full name of the athlete. You give the athlete's respective nation, the number of the athlete's attempt, notification in advance of the name of the next athlete, 1 or 2 minute time available, automatic increment of no higher weight has been declared yet, and the referee's decision of good lift or no lift. Please remember, we are not using any beat numbers. And as a speaker, by a 1 minute attempt, to request the timekeeper to stop the clock when the athlete or team official changes the weight within the first 30 seconds. By a 2 minute attempt, to request the timekeeper to stop the clock when the athlete or team official changes the weight until the last 30 seconds. And of course, you announce then what the new declaration is. In addition, when a lifter retires from the competition before the end of the session, this must be announced by full name and nation. And it keeps the audience informed of the progress of the competition and more in-depth information about the athletes. Then it requests the timekeeper to stop the clock when the athlete or team official changes the weight. And once the loaders leave the competition platform, the speaker announces the new declared weight, the full name, nation, and attempt of the lifter. If there is an injury, the competition speaker must call immediately the doctor on duty, following also to instruct the loaders to stand in front of the injured athlete, blocking the audience and camera view of the athlete. This helps to minimize the drama that nobody needs, and also it helps the competition doctor to do his job. If there is a problem, don't panic. You also have a laptop in front of you with the same system. Here you can also announce a technical stop. By clicking the technical stop, this appears on a scoreboard, like every technical stop, whether that is from the chief marshal's table or from the jury. And then you call for technical support to have the issue resolved. So this happens at best in the highest standard championship. Don't beat yourself up, that can happen. And once the issue has been resolved, and when you are ready, you announce that the technical issue has been resolved and the competition can then continue. And that means on your laptop, from the technical stop, which is the yellow one, you then click back to resume. So resume means you order the competition system to continue the session. The competition speaker announces the break time between the snatch and the clean and jerk. Here we have 10 minutes if we have 6 and plus athletes in a session. We have 15 minutes by 6 minus athletes in a session, but I didn't write 5 athletes, which I could have, because based on the different competition platforms, and we have 3 in Athens, we need to find a balanced way. So that's why we say 15 minutes by 60 minus athletes in a session, and 5 minutes if we are 15 plus athletes in a session. So when using multiple competition platforms, the sessions might vary in number of athletes so that the break might need to be adjusted accordingly. In case of a technical stop or a jury stop, of course, this must be announced. The technical controller will communicate to the competition speaker the issue, and this must be announced immediately so that everybody, especially the athlete and the coach, are aware and informed. By a jury stop, if the jury overturns a lift, the technical controller informs the competition speaker, who must then announce the reason of the jury's reverse decision, the full name of the athlete, the number of the attempt, and the weight on the barbell. Here we have a technical stop that you can see. And you can see that at all laptops that have been used per competition platform, that means on the chief marshal's table, on the jury table, and on the speaker tables, the technical stop is shown everywhere. So all the positions are aware that there's a technical stop. So no need to shout out loud or whatever. It can be seen, and it can be seen on the scoreboard as well. You can see it from the jury table. You can see it from the TC, from the speakers, and also from the chief marshal's table. At the end, the victory ceremony. Upon the conclusion of the competition of each category, the victory ceremony is held as soon as possible according to the following procedure. Now, in Athens, we have 3 competition platforms, but we are not conducting the medal ceremony while there is a session still running on one of these competition platforms. Okay, so, and we don't know yet, but either the medal ceremony will be conducted at one of the competition platforms, or there is an assigned medal ceremony place, permanent throughout the whole championship week, that is just for the medal ceremony or any celebrations like the Hall of Fame and so on, the Best Lifter Awards and so on. And that can vary from championship to championship. So an erected 3-step medal podium will be placed by the loaders with places for the 3 medal winners. All the medal winners, the medal bearers, and the officials presenting the medals march in and take their place on the stage. That comes, of course, by the technical controller. The medal winners line up behind the erected medal podium. Then the competition speaker announces the medal winner, starting always from the bronze medal, the full name, the nation, age group, body weight category, and of course the total achieved, and so on. Silver medalist, and then gold medalist, and then calling up for all to rise for the national anthem of the gold medalist. And at the end, announcing the next session based on the time schedule. So here we finished with the competition speaker. Any question or anything you need to ask or to say, to share with us? No? Okay. So then I would say we continue to go to look at the timekeeper. Here we go. So timekeeper. The timekeeper starts a 10-minute clock upon the session completion of athletes' introductions and when the athletes have left the competition platform. Technical officials will then be introduced during that 10 minutes time period. The timekeeper starts the clock giving the 1 minute, the moment the speaker finishes announcing the weight, the name of the athlete, or when the barbell is loaded and the loaders have left the platform, whichever is last. The timekeeper cannot start the clock until at least the name of the athlete is announced and the loaders are off the platform. The timekeeper starts the clock giving 2 minutes if a lifter follows him or herself immediately to the next attempt. The competition system that we are using is doing this automatically. But when there are lots of changes coming in, then that might confuse you And so have a good look and make sure that the right minute is chosen, even from the automatic system to the athlete that will then go on the platform to lift. The timekeeper stops the timing clock immediately as the barbell is raised from the competition platform. And in case the barbell has been raised and replaced back on the competition platform before reaching the high of the knees, the timekeeper must restart the clock so that the time continues from the original 1 or 2 minute given, and that the lifter is allowed to lift the barbell within his or her time given. There are times when there are numerous changes of athletes and weight, resulting in subsequent new clocks. Pay attention to the original athlete, as frequently after the changes, the original athlete will be back up. So the athlete's original clock should be on the board. The clock will normally reset. Do not reset it unless you are sure it's not functioning correctly. And once the clock starts on a different athlete, the first called athlete no longer gets a 2-minute clock. It is the clock starting and not the calling of the athlete that affects the clock. So have that in mind. And on the clock, the timekeeper must press the break time between the snatch session and the clean and jerk session. We said 10 minutes when we have 6+ lifters, 15 minutes when we have 6- lifters, and 5 minutes only when we have 15+ lifters. And this will be also adjusted when we have big breaks or when we have big sessions on the 3 competition platforms. And that is the end of the timekeeper. My question come again. Anything you want to add, you want to ask? It is quiet. So I assume no questions.
Yeah, Denise, I have a question.
Yes, Karin.
Yes, for the announcer, for the speaker, do we have like on paper the list of the athletes, or do we bring like our own papers to write down some notes, you know, for the name and everything?
Well, you get a protocol sheet. You get a protocol sheet which will be the same that the technical controller will be given to call up to do the lineup. So if it is for the pronunciation of the names, you can use that to make notes. But other than that, during the competition, during the session itself, you have everything in front of your laptop, of your computer.
Perfect. Excellent.
And it goes automatically. The system is automatically. So you will know, and you will also know which athlete goes on and which will be the next one.
Yeah, I know the system by heart because Jean-Francois is in Quebec. So.
Yes. Okay. Yes. But when it comes to the speaker, sometimes it's good to wait a little bit before you announce the lifter after, because changes might come in, and then the lifter that you have announced might not be the one that will be after. So maybe you need to give it some time. Huh?
Right.
For instance, when the lifter has come up, maybe you want to say something.
Excellent.
Okay. Any
Thank
other
you very
questions?
much.
You're welcome. Okay, it's quiet. So now we go. It's a difficult one, and this is the Masters Adaptive Weightlifting. This is something that we all need to become more aware of, and we must ensure in all the positions that we stick to this. That means the jury especially and the referees. You must know the adaptive rules to know when a press out is actually allowed or not, and so on and so on. So make yourself really familiar to it, because the adaptive weightlifters are becoming more and more participating at our championships, and they are lifting with the non-adaptive sessions. So therefore, make yourself really familiar to this. And this is what I'm going to share with you now. Let's see where it is. Okay. Close this, let's close this, and now we go to this. Here we are, share. No, why it doesn't come? Let's see. Let's do it again. Ah, now it comes up. Okay. You can confirm that you can see it? Yeah, can somebody confirm that you can see the PowerPoint? Super. Okay, we have a little agenda here. We're going to look into all of these points. It is the introductions, the guiding principles, the general directives, the adaptive classifications or categories, as we say. We have 8. The technical guidelines for all the technical officials, then what the loaders need to know, what the timekeepers need to know, the technical controller, and of course, the speaker. The principles are the safety of the athletes on the field of play, where adjustments might be needed. Then the integrity of the sport, respectful attitude towards all athletes, and of course, the challenges facing them, and compliance to the technical rules. That means knowing the adaptive rules. Then the technical officials should take time to consult with the coach and athletes prior their first attempt if they have any questions regarding the above principles. And that means the technical controller. Okay, you need to approach the adaptive lifter and ask if there's anything you need, maybe a lighter barbell, maybe boxes they are entitled to, or if it is a wheelchair athlete, we come to that, you will see what they are entitled to for their warming up. Then also, please remember, not every adaptive athlete has a visual disability. We have some very, very strong adaptive athletes. That means they have an impairment that does not interfere or disturb their good performance. And yet they are adaptive. Here are the different categories. Athletes who are deaf, deafened, or hard of hearing. Athletes with visual impairments. Athletes with intellectual impairments. Athletes with limb deficiency, no prosthesis. Athletes with limb deficiencies with prosthesis. Athletes with range of motion impairments or joint instability. Athletes competing with the use of a wheelchair. And we have athletes of short stature. Please also don't forget, there can be a combination of impairments, especially when it comes to intellectual impairments. That can also be in conjunction with any other physical impairment. Here we have the first one, deaf, deafened, or hard of hearing guidelines. Please just know we have an IMWA adaptive chair. This is Samantha Love. She's from the USA. Since 2025, she is the chair of the adaptive weightlifting and trying to build a very good structure for everyone for easy following, and also to make sure that all the adaptive athletes bring the medical evidence and that there will be for sure be adaptive athletes. So it's a good structure and good working to ensure that everything is in order and not only safe, but also fair for everyone. So athletes can compete in able-bodied bodyweight categories, or they can choose to compete as an adaptive athlete. However, this must be clarified to the IMWA Secretariat before the start of any IMWA championship. They're allowed to wear hearing aids, or implants may be worn on the platform. A coach can stand behind the referees during the lift so that down signaling can be clearly seen by the athlete. Here you can see the picture. An athlete or coach may request the center referee to give a more robust manual down signal, and coach may give the down signal once the referee's decision is visible and also the electronic signal is heard. Visual impairment guidelines. A coach can walk athlete onto the stage, that means onto the competition platform, to assist with start of the lift. Regulation of the clock starts to run per current rules, and that means that every adaptive lifter is entitled to 3 full minutes per attempt from the first attempt. But what we do, we had other adaptive lifters saying, no, I don't want so many minutes. I don't need to. So now the competition speaker goes to the adaptive lifter in a warm-up area before the session starts and asks if the adaptive lifter wants 3 minutes for each attempt or not. And then make a note. As a speaker, make a note. You are also the timekeeper. And please also note that the competition systems are not built for 3 minutes. You have to put it manual in. Okay? If the adaptive lifter is asking for 3 minutes, each attempt, you need to put the 3 minutes in manually. Then the athlete or coach may request the center referee to give a more robust verbal and audible down signal. Intellectual impairment guidelines. A coach can walk an athlete onto the stage, onto the platform to assist with the start of the lift. Here again, 3 minutes are allowed, but it's not mandatory. The speaker needs to know that, and the speaker will also announce this. Coaches will be allowed to stand behind the technical officials during the athlete's lift to signal coaches down cues. And the center referee may be asked to provide a more robust down signal, so the coach may give a down signal once the referee's call is visible and also or the electronic signal has been heard. Here you have a picture of a Down syndrome weightlifter, which is a combination of 2 categories. Lower extremity amputee guidelines with and without prosthesis. An athlete can perform single leg snatch and clean and jerk. An athlete can perform a lift with a leg prosthesis. However, no myoelectric prostheses are allowed. Then the small disc, the friction disc, must be secured on the inside of the collars on the barbell. And the athletes using a prosthesis must weigh in with prosthesis and demonstrate that the artificial limb is not powered or able to store energy. By the upper extremity amputee guidelines, with and without prosthesis, an athlete can perform single arm snatch and clean and jerk. An athlete can perform a lift with an arm prosthesis. An athlete can perform a lift with use of a strap briefly attached to the bar, and that is the only exception we have, that an adaptive lifter is entitled by an prosthesis, an arm prosthesis, to put a strap on the barbell, between the barbell and the myoelectric arm. The myoelectric arms, which are needed to open and close the hands, are fully permitted. The athlete without the use of prosthesis will be allowed to press out. Small disc, that means the friction disc, must be secured inside the collars on the barbell, and the athlete must weigh in with prosthesis and demonstrate the artificial limb is not powered or able to store energy. And again, all these athletes are entitled to 3 minutes per attempt. Can I please ask everyone to mute your micro so that we don't have background noise for this recording? Thank you. Here we have a photo of a 1-arm snatch, and here a 1-arm clean and jerk. Range of motion impairment or joint instability guidelines. Athletes who cannot fully extend their elbows must still adhere to current regulations. Athletes who cannot fully lower their torso to reach the height of the bar may be permitted to lift from blocks. So blocks cannot be higher than the top of the athlete's patella. The jerk may be replaced with a push press to full extension, but no posing of the arms. And the snatch may be replaced with muscle snatch to full extension without pose of the arms. And finally, the joint bracing may be worn on the platform. Here we have an athlete who needs blocks because he cannot lower the torso to be so flexible. Here we have athletes with the use of wheelchair guidelines. There are 4 different parts. We start with part number 1. Use of a wheelchair lap mat or blocks may be used, and this is permitted. If blocks are used, the resting bottom from most part of the barbell with plates on the barbell may be no more than 5 centimeters above the lap or the pad. Can you please close the micro so that we have no background noise, please, everyone? Thank you. The coach or assigned volunteers may place barbell on the athlete's lap mat or blocks, and the athlete is allowed to readjust the barbell on their lap or blocks if needed. A muscle snatch will be acceptable if the bar does not stop or descend on its way upwards. Here we are on part 2 for the wheelchair guideline. The barbell is allowed to touch the chest before it stops to the final position, either on the collarbone, chest, or on the full bent arms. Following a lap clean, the barbell must be in contact with the shoulders to begin the press. Quick press or seated push press is permitted with fully locked out finished position, and the athlete can shrug or bounce shoulders to get the press movement started. And also, the athlete's wheelchair must be placed directly in front of the platform. So the gym mats must be placed in front of the athlete for safety reasons. Now we go to the part 3 of the wheelchair guidelines. Athlete's arm must be fully extended upon completion of the lift. Also, the barbell may pose on its way up. It cannot be lowered and then raised. Once the barbell descends, a no lift has occurred. After full extension is reached and after a loud audible down signal from the center referee is given, 2 volunteer spotters will secure the barbell and return it safely to the platform. And only the athlete, the loaders and spotters can make contact with the barbell. Coaches are not allowed on the platform after the attempt has been started. Here we come to the final part of the wheelchair guidelines. The competition clock set is again 3 minutes, as we said, and wheelchair adaptive athletes, they need the 3 minutes. And that's to start to run when the athlete's name is called. This will provide time for the athlete and spotters to set up the barbell. Small discs, that means the friction discs, must be secured inside the collars. The athlete may be assisted for the weigh-in with a helper, and if weigh-in is in person, a wheelchair scale must be used. The athlete's wheelchair will be weighed in first, followed by the weight with the athlete inside the chair. Then the athlete's body weight will be calculated by counting the 2 weights in total. Weigh-in can be undertaken by medical professional 36 hours in advance if not done in person. We come to the last category of adaptive weightlifting, the short stature guidelines. An athlete can compete in able-bodied body weight category or choose to compete as an adaptive athlete. Men can choose to use a 15-kilo barbell or the 20-kilo barbell. Women are permitted to use the 15-kilo barbell or a 10-kilo barbell. And athletes must let referees know if they cannot fully extend arms or legs before each attempt. Now, what need the loaders and spotters need to know? Regular duties for all loading except for athletes with use of a wheelchair. Athletes with use of a wheelchair requirements are: loaders lift the barbell and place on the athlete's lap mat or on the blocks. Remove hands and step back from the barbell. Not touch the wheelchair. Upon referee signal, secure the barbell from both sides and lower it to the platform. If requested, assist the athlete to exit the platform. I'm sorry, but I can hear outside noise. Somebody has the micro on, so I'm going to stop sharing And I will see who has here, please. Yeah, please, okay, I think, and we have somebody else. Okay, so now we can continue. We continue. Technical officials, and that means the timekeepers. Here we know now, timekeepers are set to start the time clock 3 minutes per attempt. The athlete is entitled to choose this, and this must be clarified in the warm-up area before the start of the competition with the speaker. Timing clock starts the moment the speaker announces at least the athlete's name or when the barbell is loaded and loader spotters remove hands from barbell. Stop the clock immediately as barbell is raised from athlete's lap. And then athlete always has 3 minutes to start the attempt even with consecutive lifts, unless they choose otherwise. Technical controller. The technical controller is assigned to all sessions, including adaptive technique. Please, I have noise here. And this is the last time I'm asking you this is the last time, and if the noise continues, then I need to take you out to continue my presentation. Please respect, no noise here. So, ensure necessary modifications to field of play, ensure technical rules are implemented, checks to see that adaptive athletes' warm-up platform is closest to the entrance of the competition platform, and the path between platforms is clear of dangerous obstructions. Provide clarification of rules and address concerns of the athletes and coaches. And the second technical controller may be assigned to assist adaptive athletes if that is required. Okay, for the speaker again, introduce yourself to adaptive athletes and their coach. Ask how to pronounce athlete's name correctly if required. Provide the audience with what adaptive category the athlete is competing under, but please do not disclose any personal health information to the audience on the adaptive athletes. And we come to the end of the adaptive weightlifting. Do you have any questions? Anything at all?
Denise, we hear you a little bit bad after throw away this person with the microphone on. It's not hard enough how you speak the last 2 minutes.
So you were not able to follow the last 2 minutes what I presented here?
My telephone is on max. I still hear you like really.
Okay. Well, as I said in the beginning, the recording will be sent to everyone. Okay, so you can listen to the recording again. Yeah.
Okay.
And then take it from there. You will also, everybody will receive the PowerPoint presentations in PDF format. So you have it right in front of you. Okay. And if there are any questions, then you can contact us. Okay. So, yeah, is that okay? Justina? Okay. We continue with our last presentation, and this is the jury president and the jury members. So now I'm going to share my screen again. Here we go. Can anyone confirm that this last presentation can be seen?
We
Yeah,
can see it.
Okay, super. Okay. And here, of course, the rules, the competition rules of the IWF that we follow, but also the difference of master's technical rules, they must be known by all jury members. Then the basics are, please be on time, assigned to your seat. And that is before the technical official presentations, because it looks bad when the jury table, the seats are empty, or if there's only one or two. It does not look good. So if you have assigned for the jury, please be on time on the jury's table. Be impartial and assertive to all lifters, regardless which nation, including your own. Of course, we are no police force. That means no shouting or whatever. We can do that in a respectful manner. The jury must wait to judge until the barbell has returned back on the ground. And that means either on the competition platform or even when it has fallen out of the competition platform. Based on that, you judge, but you don't judge before that, okay? And that is, of course, you also wait until the referees have decided. Use common sense rather than chasing mistakes or to be too relaxed in any decision. We said that yesterday for the referees. For the oldest age group, please bear in mind, it must still be weightlifting. And this is the right way forward to help the oldest age groups to stay injury-free as much as possible. They might not like it, but the reality is that you are actually helping them not to be injured. If they get away with very bad technique, then this is not good for everyone. Please wear the correct uniform to be identified in your position. No phone, tablet, or any other device while on duty. And of course, all jury members must be IWF or IMWA Category 1 technical officials. At all IMWA World and Continental Masters Championships, there is a 3-bench jury. And as I said, everybody must be Category 1. The jury has the ultimate control on the field of play, and its primary function is to ensure that the technical competition rules are being correctly followed and applied. The jury is not a jury of appeal, so there is no appeal against the jury's decision here. No? So if any coach or any master's athlete comes running and tries to appeal on a phone, showing any video whatsoever, it cannot influence a jury's decision. Yeah. Each jury member must be friendly and courteous, be wearing the correct uniform, be aware of and sensitive to the language, culture, and religious differences, promote a safe and harassment-free environment where participants are treated with respect, judgment by using the jury control unit after the barbell returned back on the platform. We said before, the speaker has a laptop, the chief marshal has a laptop, and the jury president has a laptop with the competition system in front as well. So use that when it is needed. Be fair, firm, and decisive. Use common sense. Be able to act as a manual scorekeeper if required and requested by the jury president. And then each jury member must not do. Please don't attempt to influence the decisions of other jury members or referees. And please not using any devices like tablets or phones during the sessions, during the competition. What is the responsibility of the jury president? Communicate in English. The jury president must converse fluently in English and assess technical difficulties, and please offer guidance if necessary. Work cooperatively and collaboratively. Assert a degree of authority. Be objective in decision making. Be discerning and not be easily influenced on no attempt to influence. Act and react in a calm manner. Be proactive rather than reactive. Be respectful and courteous to colleagues. Be open to learn from extensive international experience as a technical official. And that means that no matter how many years you have been technical official by the jury referee, we always learn something new. We don't know everything all the time. Okay, so please be open to learn new things or new experiences. The president of the jury controls and signs all technical officials' cards, whether that is from the IWF or now that we have the IMWA booklets as well. At all IMW events, the jury president shall appoint an individual to complete a manual protocol as a backup document, and the jury president signs a protocol sheet after the end of a session. The president of the jury assigns a jury member to keep eye contact with the technical controller after each lift. Here it is, important for the smooth running of a competition, the jury to keep eye contact with the technical controller in case of the decision reversal, bar cleaning, or anything that is unusual or needs to be changed. The jury may stop the competition, and we can already more or less foresee this when the jury president is looking left and right to the colleagues and they start maybe discussing something. So, because we are a 3-bench jury, unless unanimity is reached in the first instance, the jury cannot take any action, even if the decision of the referees appears to be totally incorrect. If the jury unanimously agrees that a lift should have been passed or failed, and that differs from the majority of the referee's decision, in order to consider the reversal of a decision, then the president of the jury must do the following. Order that the competition be stopped, informing both the DC and speaker. In case the jury president calls the referees in question for an explanation, he or she must ask the members of the jury if they accept or reject the referee's explanation. If the explanation is accepted by the jury, no action is taken and the competition is ordered to restart. If the explanation is not accepted, the decision must be reversed on the screen. Request the technical controller to communicate any new decision and its reason to the speaker, requesting that such decision and its reason be announced to the public and of course to the athlete and coach concerned. And then the order to restart the competition. Here we have an example of the laptop on the jury president on the table. So whenever the jury decides to stop the competition, the jury president must act immediately by pressing the technical stop jury button. You can see it is in red. That's number 1. Then when you look on the picture number 2, then you click on the reverse decision, which is number 2. And then you see that the reverse decision, the next little window from the green becomes red. And then number 3, you click back to resume to the competition. And then when you click to resume, you can also see the changes already on the scoreboard. The speaker will get the changes and the chief marshal will also receive the changes. Through the jury screen, the jury can call the technical controller and each referee separately, as you can see here. Here you have an example when jury reverses the decision to a good lift. Number 1, first attempt on scoreboard is highlighted. Then number 2, no lift has been given as a majority decision by the referees. Then number 3, the jury decided to overturn. It makes a technical stop at the jury table. And number 4, the jury then reverses the decision to a good lift. Then the result can be, the result changes can be seen on the scoreboard and it turns from a no lift to a good lift. Then you have the opposite, when the jury reverses the decision to a no lift. Here the same athlete's second attempt is a 1 kilo increase. It's a good lift majority decision by the referees. However, now the jury decided to overturn this. So there's a technical stop from the jury table, and then they reverse the decision to a no lift. And then you can see on the 4th picture, before resuming back to the competition, then the decision has reversed to a no lift, it's red. And then you can see the result changes on the scoreboard to a no lift, the second lift of this athlete. Okay. Jury decision-making process for attempts with loading errors. If the barbell is loaded to a lighter weight than the one requested by the athlete may, if he or she wishes, either accept the attempt, if it was a successful one, or refuse it. If he or she refuses the attempt, the athlete is granted automatically then an additional attempt with the weight originally requested. And if the barbell is loaded to a weight which is not multiple of 1 kilo, that means it has a difference from one side to the other, and the lift is still successful, the athlete may accept the attempt at the next lower weight or refuse it. If the athlete refuses the attempt, he or she is, of course, granted an additional attempt with the weight originally requested. And then the final one, if the barbell is loaded to a heavier weight than the one requested by the athlete may, if he or she wishes to accept the attempt, if it was a successful one. If the attempt is not successful, or if the barbell is not a multiple of 1 kilo, the athlete is automatically granted an additional attempt with the weight originally requested. Then we have 2 more cases where the jury must grant an additional lift to the lifter. If a lift is failed because the barbell is not equally loaded, or the platform is damaged, or the barbell becomes disarranged during the lift, or there is an incursion or any other external interference, the jury must grant an additional attempt for the affected athlete. And also, if the speaker makes a serious error during the announcement of an athlete's name or the calling of the weight, the jury must grant another attempt. In addition, the president of the jury has the following specific responsibilities: supervise the referee light system control panel and call the referees for explanation if and when needed, monitor the decisions of both the referees and the jury, operate the jury control panel, communicate with technical controllers, timekeeper, chief marshal, competition management, and speaker by technical jury stop, so no shouting through the competition venue. You use the computer for a technical jury stop, assign a manual scorekeeper within the jury, and also in case of electricity failure, that the competition on that competition platform can continue, and enable technical officials to remove the jacket by hot venue. A reminder again, at IMWA events, no athletes challenge cards are there, and so no video replay will be used. And we come to the end of the jury president and jury members. So we have done all the 4 positions yesterday, and all the 4 positions, I mean, the adaptive has given all of the positions. We went through all of them. Do you have any questions? Okay, I would like to say then one thing. In all IMWA championships, the age group 70 plus, women and men, are entitled to a lighter barbell. The women are entitled to a 10 kilo barbell if they choose to, and the men are entitled to a 15 kilo barbell if they choose to. And it's the same goes for the adaptive weightlifting. And that is for the non-adaptive from the age group 70 and plus. Okay, so bear that in mind when the loaders are starting to change the barbells, and you need to look also, make sure that the right barbell is on the competition platform. Yeah. Okay, any questions or any remarks at all? It's very quiet. That means I take it as that you are in line with this. You can follow. I say it again. Everybody will receive this material by the email that you leave us, and the recording will also be sent to you, and that will all be done in the next few days. If you wish to prepare for examinations, please contact us. We will guide you all the way through, no? Whatever you need to know. Our theoretical exams questionnaire is online. Okay, it's an online version. So let us know where we can assist. We're going to have some examinations, practical examinations in Athens. So for the jury, that is something that they need to know how to follow and how to go through to conduct practical exams. And so I should say, we will see you in Athens. About a week before the championship start, you will receive another email with the WhatsApp link of the Technical Official Athens WhatsApp group. So then you link yourself to this WhatsApp group so that everybody is in. And then please use it while you are in a championship. If there are any changes that is happening for you when you signed up at any position and for some reason you cannot be there, as soon as you know it, please write it in a WhatsApp group, and then we are able to balance it out somehow. The sooner we know it, the better. Okay? When it comes to the sign-up sheet, please use only the spots that are still open. Don't throw somebody out that is already signed up. Okay? And again, the weigh-ins, don't go too much in the weigh-ins because the local organizers will provide weigh-in teams. All right? And that means that you cannot sign up on a weigh-in and then in another position in the same session. Don't do that. Okay? We leave the weigh-in mostly to the local organizers. All right? So that's from me, everything for now. Again, if there's something that comes up that you have not thought of it today, contact us. We are there to help and to guide you all the way through. And again, big thank you from us to you for supporting this championship. All the championships so far, you've been amazing, and we would not be able to do it without you. So a big thank you from our side, and we really look forward to run this championship together with you. Thank you all. Have a wonderful Sunday, whatever is left, wherever you are from, and see you in Athens.
Thank you.
Bye.